Hello everybody. Like usual, I'm going to waffle a bit until this actually feeds through because it's so disconcerting. It should be coming through. I think there's a bit of a delay on tonight. It seems to take a while to come through to the studio and then through to broadcast. But there we go. So we got a few people in here already and a few names I've not seen before, which is wonderful. I'm running a stream out of my normal slot because normally I'd start a live stream at 9 o'clock UK time, and it is right now midnight on the dot ish, depending which clock or watch I look at. So a few new names to me. Just another David, hello to you. Jeff P, Eric Hare I've seen before. Slam DVW from Wyoming, hello to Wyoming. Penny Jane, Nathan's dog. Yeah, keep it quiet. Nathan's dog's in here. I don't think Nathan knows. Arthur, fuck's sake, is in here. Good evening to you, sir, again. Johnny P, good day to you. Who else have we got? Tony Martin, hello. Flat Earth is fading away. Oh, I wish it would. But then they'll have to find another daft conspiracy for us to bash, I think. I hope you've all been well. And it's good to catch some new people in the strap. Oh, Global Mum, you're in here. Darkman, of course. And Pie Parrot. You're right, Pip, this is late. Excuse me. I literally just come back from work, stuffed a sandwich down my neck, and tried to tinker and get all the software up and loaded. So if I screw up tonight, it's probably just due to that. I've just come off a 10-hour shift. So, yeah. Libby Stylet, no, you weren't the first in here, and Mojo7. We've already got a couple people waiting in the green room to come on. Two people who've not been on this channel before. Brixie and Common Sense Criticism. This will be interesting. Now, as I think most of you will probably know, we've had a lot of crap coming from the dark side about this Black Swan, and I seem to have got them particularly riled. I think Oakley has done at least 3 videos over the past week about me, 2 of which I haven't even seen, and also I've suddenly got myself voted number 4 in Dumb Glober of the Year or something, which is wonderful. Not as good as Anthony Sleeping Warrior Riley, who actually nominated himself for DFOTY and won it at last. Well done, Anthony. Well done. Well, let's bring these people in. I'll give them a few seconds so they know that they're going to be dragged out of the waiting room and into the live, because I don't want to shock them mid-conversation because they're chatting with Colon, my ever-present and wonderful moderator. So let's bring them in. So here we go. Oh, yes. Oh, no, wrong one. Right. So we got both Brixie and Common Sense Criticism. So, hello, good evening to you two. Hope not to... Oh, hold on. I've just realised I haven't switched your sound on. I nearly screwed up. Try again. Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening.
And Common Sense, can I check your sound as well?
Yeah, sure. How's it going, man?
Yeah, not so bad. And have you two had a good week?
Yeah, it's been okay. I mean, of course, we've got the coronavirus frightening people, but apart from that, everything's okay for me.
And without wishing for you to dox yourself or anything like that, may I ask what sort of part of the world you're from?
Well, South Devon. The name's pretty much a giveaway.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. Not to me, it isn't.
No problem.
Yeah, we're getting a few more cases in this area as well, my area. I think it's probably all over already. It's just a case of how many people are going to get it bad.
Well, hopefully it won't be too much anyway, but we'll have to wait and see and ride the storm, I suppose, till it's summer.
Yeah. I reckon you're probably right. And what about you, Common Sense?
Where am I from?
Well, yeah. Again, without doxing or revealing anything you don't want to reveal.
No, that's fine. I'm across the pond in Utah. Home of the scared sheep waiting on the flu to get here. Apparently, everybody in Utah thought it was a good idea to buy nothing but toilet paper and bottled water from Costco. So they're out of that, and they're yelling that at the doors. It's pretty interesting.
Well, we keep getting
It's like,
that.
what have you guys been doing before this?
Before what? Before the
flu
coronavirus?
came. Yeah.
Sorry?
It's like now, yeah, before the coronavirus, everybody seems to be afraid of not being able to wipe their behind.
Well, we seem to have had enough toilet paper. It's never been an issue before. Never has. But, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's always the newspaper, isn't there?
Well, there is, yeah. And bearing in mind the quality of the stories in half these newspapers, it's probably the best use for most of those newspapers.
I think that's where a lot of this hysteria is coming from, honestly, is the media doing that.
Absolutely. One of the papers here, I look at their online, sometimes Daily Mail, and they keep calling it the killer virus, and showing pictures of empty shelves in shops and empty shopping centres. And people say, well, they're not empty when I go there. They seem to be taking the pictures at 6 o'clock in the morning or something of the shopping centres and showing no one there. It's really bad that they're doing it. I don't think they should be able to.
Well, the fatality rate is not very high at all. It's very, very contagious, but the fatality rate or the mortality rate is just really. And I work in precious metals, and I have a few customers that are virologists, and they came in a couple weeks ago when it was first starting to hit the news, and they said that it's Asians are more susceptible to it than Caucasians are. They have more receptors to the coronaviruses, and because it's not just one virus. The coronavirus is a family of viruses.
Absolutely.
SARS and MERS and the common cold are all coronaviruses, but Asians are more susceptible to it, and most of the people who have died from it have been like 70-year-old lifetime smoker.
Well, this is it. From something I read a little while back, and I know that they're not sure on the figures, but it was talking about young kids being, I don't know, 0.13% mortality, your general adults approaching 1%. You get sort of 50 to 60, and you start shooting up to 7 or 8%. You get to, I think it was 70 or 80. What was it? 70s is about 9%, and 80s is about 13%. So it's definitely going to hit people of a certain age more than others.
Yeah, but that's the way it is every year. I mean, here in America, I think it's 30,000 deaths a year from the flu, and it's all, older people and very young children. So it's not even as bad as the normal flu is so far.
Yeah.
It's hitting the same people.
But it's going to be a lot more people. Let me start again. A lot more people are likely to catch it because, as you said, it's more contagious.
And the incubation period, apparently the incubation period is way longer, and you could have it and not even show symptoms ever of it and just be a carrier.
I know. That's why I think it's probably quite rife already. And the only way to do is to tell would be to do a mass testing of people. I did hear one interesting thing on the news though, that in the US, if you want to get yourself tested, it will cost you around $3,000.
What?
No,
yes,
that's not true. I've had a cough for a few weeks. Just got on blood pressure medication, and it's been giving me this weird cough. So Monday, I was coughing really badly from it, and I'm also a smoker too, or vape or whatever. Anyway, so I had this cough. Went to the doctor because I kind of felt crappy, and they just shoved this thing up my nose and swabbed it around a second, and then by the time I left, they said, "Yeah, the flu test came back, and you're clean."
Now, my understanding was it takes 2 days to get the results.
Nope, I got it back almost instantaneous.
Yeah. Well,
and that could be a different flu test. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I don't know, but she said it was a flu test, and this is the flu. It's the same as the other flu.
But it isn't a flu, is it? It's different. Coronavirus is different than a flu.
It's got flu-like symptoms, and then at the end, this one in particular, apparently, at the end you get pneumonia, and that's when it gets deadly for people. It's the lifetime smoker already susceptible to chest infections and things that hit your ability to breathe. That's what takes.
Yeah, I would imagine too, people that already have an issue at the time, if they've already suffering from something.
Yes, then they're at greater risk, of course, yes. Yes, GS Geology said this is not a flu. Yeah,
Of
What
course,
about Nathan Thompson getting arrested?
I know. Yes, let's have a little chat about Nathan Thompson. I've not done a video about it because I've found it really difficult due to my shift pattern this week to do videos, and I knew that everybody else would, and they have. What a character, eh? What a card. Someone said he's leaving. What state is it he lives in? I've forgotten now. That he's
South Carolina, I think.
And that he's got a ban on going on any school grounds or approaching any schools or something like that. That's what I've heard. That's what it needs. I mean, it's not right, is it?
I think he's been watching too many Nathan Oakley videos if he thinks it's okay to go around smacking children flat or otherwise.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Isn't Nathan Thompson the one who was destroying books and shops and so on?
Yep.
Is it? I forget.
I think books or Globe. There's several.
Not Nathan
anyway,
Roberts.
Go ahead, sorry.
I get muddled up.
Well, there are too many Nathans.
No, it is Thompson because he had his dog Geo with him, didn't he? No, because he was cutting open calendars at Christmas or something and slipping in his flat earth pamphlets.
It's like the same bloke I'm thinking of. That's the sort of thing he'd do.
Oh, I see. As well as Nathan's dog, we've got Nathan Thompson. Nathan Thompson.
One thing from that. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was going to say, is that his Finnish brother? I don't know.
One thing from that flat smacking video that I noticed was he didn't pick up his dog's poop.
No, someone else said that.
Guys.
Yes. Tusk has just said that it might be part of his bail conditions that to keep 50 yards away from schools. I believe that's what you're saying, Tusk. I should think so. It's absolutely mad, isn't it? And he filmed it and broadcast it live, didn't he?
Yep.
I can't understand how he thinks it's acceptable to do that. You know?
Well, he also thinks the Earth is flat, so I don't think his limit is anywhere near ours is on what is acceptable.
Yes, and someone's just confirmed a digital demonic Davros. Nathan Roberts is the one who ripped up a book or books, and it was Nathan Thompson who was putting flyers in solar system posters. It wasn't calendars, solar system posters. He was slitting the plastic open and sliding in his.
Well, I'm still pleased I at least got the first name right.
Yes. I'll tell you, I've messed up before. I did a video about one of the Nathans and put the other one's name on it. So what the hell? It's understandable, definitely. Of course, one of them, Roberts, is now gone, hasn't he? I think he's just stuck on BitChute. I think he's gone to BitChute, Roberts.
That's where the flat Earth hipster went. Red pill philosophy.
Oh, is it?
He quit YouTube and went over there.
That's where they finally go to die, I think. I don't know if you've ever looked at that channel, have you? At that site? Well, by all means, of course, have a look. But you will find just heaps and heaps of rubbish, unchallenged rubbish, hate speech, anti-Semitism, transphobic stuff. It's all the stuff that can't be on YouTube. It's just steaming in a pile over on BitChute. Osvaldo Greco said that the dog didn't poo. He just made a statement about what Nathan said.
Best comment of the day.
Yeah.
I did say in chat, I did think that Nathan's dog's probably the brains of the family.
It could be, couldn't he? Yeah, could be. What is it with about...
I made a video.
Yeah, so Mr. Andrat said, what is it about Nathans and Flat Earth? I don't know, but I would strongly suggest anyone out there who is either about to have a child or whose partner is about to have a child, do not call it Nathan, no matter what. You're asking for trouble.
Just call it something nice like Lucifer or something.
Yes. Yeah, just not Nathan. That's bad. And we got enough Nathans in the world. Definitely have. So Nathan Oakley has done quite a few videos about me. I think it's got him really quite riled. excuse me, he keeps going on about horizons, of course. I was just having a look at a couple of comments, and he was saying that if you haven't got a geometric horizon, then what the hell are boats supposed to be going over? He just...
Yeah, but that's just he doesn't understand.
Well, is it though?
Terminology, imagine.
Is it that he doesn't understand?
No.
Or is it that he does understand and is quite willing just to peddle these lies to get the money in?
That's where my money's at.
I think so. And of course, there's that now famous Discord discussion that someone captured. I've forgotten who it was because they've been on my channel in comments and so on, where he was having a live chat debate with, I think he was with another flat earther and one or more globe earthers. Conspiracy Cats was one of them, I think, and they were talking about lighthouses. And on the Discord, Nathan suddenly realised he was going to get caught out about this, and told the other guy to stop. It's a trap. And with the lighthouse, they're aiming it in whatever direction. It's the perfect proof of a globe. That's what he actually said. He knows.
Well, yeah, of course. Why would you ever need more than one lighthouse on a flat surface?
Well, this is true. What is stopping the light from going further? And why do they put things like radar, the rotating radar things on top of ships? Why do they put them on the top? To gain height. Why is there crow's nests even on the old clipper ships and so on, as high as possible, so that they can see that bit further around the curve? Because if you had flat Earth, why would going up 30, 40 feet make a difference? Oh, Flying Arc, I'm sorry you can't stay, but thank you very much for joining us tonight. I did see you. And to everyone else who's popping in, I can see Mr. Andrat, 9 o'clock hero, Dark Knight Apologetics, awesome. And Fantarang, good evening to you. B-Ball for life. And I'm sure there's plenty others, and I apologise if I haven't caught you all, but there's Factard, Nerd Angle, and Hugh Jas, as always. Hugh Jas.
I'd be interested to know if Nathan had an explanation with his claim that you cannot have an atmosphere without some sort of container. If you had, say, this ball of gas that he calls the sun, where's the glass dome around that?
I don't know if he does believe it's a ball of gas, or does claim it's a ball of gas. I don't know what his thoughts are about that.
I don't think you'll find out. I don't think he'd be prepared to tell you what his thoughts are, because I don't think he has any that he would go public on.
I mean, it's all very well them saying, oh, gas pressure, you need a container. Yes, I know atmospheric is different, but they're claiming that we would have to have a container. So what is this flipping container they talk about, unless it is some dome or equivalent?
Well, I mean, let's go further. This container, does it have a container? Because why would gas be anything special from the solid?
Sorry, can you explain what you mean?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there are several problems. You can't just say you've got a glass dome and that's the end of it. First of all, the biggest problem is going to be explaining meteorites. Now, Sleepy had a problem with that one. He said that meteorites don't exist because he hasn't seen them. And then he claimed that nobody's seen them. And then I pointed him to videos of mass witnesses.
Yep, like the one in Russia.
Events.
There's
Exactly.
one in Russia recently. And
Chernobylska or something, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And then you got the remains of the Tunguska event.
Tunguska, yeah, in the 1930s.
And I have actually stood on the edge of Meteor Crater, the Barringer Crater in Arizona. What the hell made that hole? Although I've already seen one idiot who I debunked who claimed that that they weren't caused by meteors. They were the equivalent of like the hot springs you get at oh gosh, what's it called? The Yellowstone. All the hot springs. Oh, they look just the same as Meteor Crater. What? Idiots.
Wasn't that Hans that said that?
To be honest,
I think he had a video on that.
I can't remember. I did do it. It's in my catalogue somewhere.
Well, if he's talking about Yellowstone, he's only talking about a volcanic region. So, excuse me, there's going to be other possible explanations.
And there's actually very few regions where you get geysers, however you prefer to say. That's
springs.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about. And basically, it came down to the fact that they were roughly circular. I think that's all you could say. That's as evidential as it got.
Yeah, and why they ever allowed to get away with saying that water seeks its own level is some sort of explanation when water will love to form itself into a nice sphere if you put it in a vacuum.
With no gravity, it would have to be no
Yeah,
gravity.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the vomit comet.
yes.
Actually, technically, even in the vomit comet, you have gravity. It's just it's falling at the rate of gravity, and the density gradient, which they would point at, well, inside a plane there is no density gradient. So why is it forming a sphere? We know it's surface temperature. Surface pressure,
Tension.
but tension, yes. But the point is, it's not forming a nice flat plane like they like to claim.
No. There's just
There's-
so much wrong with so much of what they say. But what I think is sad is the number of. I think Oakley is just in it for the money. I'm 99% sure. But what's sad is seeing so many of the comments, because there are definitely people who are just buying the rubbish. I'm not talking about his merch, but buying the rubbish that he's speaking. And that's really
sometimes
sad.
word salad is convincing if you haven't done any background science. So, yeah, they will think that that's legitimate.
I know.
My latest video was about their live stream when they were talking about Professor Dave's 10 challenges for flat Earth, and I had a comment on one of my comments on that video was a guy saying that basically Nathan Oakley is emulating. Apparently, I don't know if it was
Super
ever very
chat.
popular in the States,
Excellent.
but maybe in England or in Europe there were call-in shows where people would call in, and then the host would just freak out and go
James Whale
mental.
style. Yeah, James
I
Whale
guess,
style.
yeah.
There are others like
And
that.
I never looked at it like that, but when he goes ballistic and you cloud, just freaking out.
Oh, sort of shock
That's
jocks.
yeah, kind of like that. Yeah,
But you have them in the States as
Super
well,
chat.
don't you?
we do. They just don't freak out like that. As far as I've never seen, or I've never heard anybody like that just freak out the way he does. Like he borders on like a heart attack, I think.
Sorry, who? Are you talking about Nathan?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a couple of super chats. For some reason, they're not showing in my list, so I'm going to have to read them from the actual stream. A super chat from Nerd Angle for $3.99 US. You just deserve it. Thanks for the entertainment. Well, thank you very much, Nerd Angle. That's much appreciated. And then another super chat for $5 from End Flat Earth. #NT, I presume Nathan Thompson, #NT idiot, signed his own death warrant. What was it that he said about lying to children and millstones? Absolutely. It's all very well them claiming all the biblical stuff, but you can't pick and choose. So thank you for that, both of you guys. I really appreciate it.
I think it's funny when Nathan Thompson says believing in reality, the sphere Earth and the heliocentric model is a vain religion, when that's why he believes in flat Earth, is because his extreme religion. It's just really hypocritical, I think.
Well, very, very. Shall we have a look at one of these videos? I'm hoping that all the sound will come through. I'll set this up quickly tonight, so and I'll try and watch the chat as well. So if anyone can tell me if you either can't hear me or can't hear Brixie or Common Sense, that would be great. So I'll play it, but of course you guys are only going to see it as it comes through to the live feed as well. So
Yeah, we'll have a small lag, that's all.
Yes, okay. So as I said, he's done a couple. I'll play the longer one first, because I did see a comment on the shorter one by someone saying, why is it edited so much? So I don't know if he's chopped and changed it so much that it doesn't make sense. And I'm hoping that this slightly longer one will make a little bit more sense. It is the Black Swan, and I think that I'm a target on this. So let's give this a go. Oh, after the adverts, of course. Skip past this crap. Right.
A big shout out to Red Pill Philosophy for putting this next clip selection together. I'll put a link to his library account in the info box below this video.
I mean, a horizon isn't a physical thing. It's just the point at
This
which
is how you can tell that
geometrically
flat earthers are
the tangent
disingenuous.
that you're looking at towards the surface of the Earth. So that red area right
All
now
they
is
do
hidden
is talk
behind,
about one thing
behind
over and over and
the
over.
horizon, the physical geometric
Makes it easy.
horizon.
You don't have to
Physical
think
horizon.
much if you repeat the same
Yeah,
thing over.
Higher in elevation
The ho-
than it usually is.
The horizon isn't an object, it's just a point a certain distance away from you. That's what I don't understand why they can't get. I mean, the Earth is a physical object, so it has, okay, not edges, because it's got a face, but it's got a distance around it that you can see. That's the geometric horizon, and they seem
Well,
to think that's special.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like saying a rainbow isn't in a specific location because two observers will see it in a different place.
Yes,
What's the problem?
But if you have a ball, you can only see so much of that ball, and so it apparently has edges. That's your geometric. That's as far as you can see geometrically around the ball. Now, if you stuck a mirror just above that ball, you'd see further. I know we're not talking about a mirror with the atmosphere, but that's just bending the. Yes, the mirror's reflecting the light. Refraction bends the light, and you can see a bit further. So, in effect, you see a new edge. It's not the geometric edge, because that's just your tangent to that edge.
In effect, refraction is giving you a perspective from a different position, and any two locations will have a different apparent horizon, so no problem.
I don't see the problem either, but they've got a big problem.
There's
Big
a guy
problem.
in your chat that says Arthur fuck's sake or whatever.
Yes,
Says they're obsessed with this. That's kind of what I was talking about. They're obsessed with this photo because there's so little evidence that they can twist and make their idiotic sycophants, think that the Earth is flat. That once they do find one that's obviously refracted up. I mean, it's obviously refracted. Look at the damn things coming off the side of it. It's obviously refracted up. But, they find one photo or one video that's like, oh, look, see, the Earth is flat. And then that's all they talk about for a month or two. I am so sick of hearing about this stupid Black Swan thing from them.
I know. Remind me when we reach the end of this video, because I want to ask everyone something about this Black Swan, because I'm going to be running a bit of a poll. I'm going to stick it up sometime tomorrow. Okay, let's carry on. I think he's obviously just taking the mickey out of me. They're trying to pick different meanings from my words, and this is what I was going to address in my video for tomorrow night against Mitchell from Australia. But Nathan, I have
Australia, a flat earther.
Mitchell from Australia, yes.
There's
I
an
had
irony there, considering.
I know. I had a debate with him on Fight the Flat Earth, which I rather enjoyed. That my first subject was the rotation of the stars, and he waffled on. Then he tried to bring in Coriolis and all sorts of things. And at the end, when he was asked, "Well, what's your explanation for 2 points rotation?" he said, "I haven't got an explanation." And I thought, okay, well, that's fair enough to say that. But then he's claiming that he wiped the floor with me on that. But there we go. So let's carry on with this video and see what we got. I'm in
Correct.
the blue area.
Not Q. We don't have a geometric horizon. Then not P. The Earth is not a globe.
We do have a geometric horizon. We just can't see it. But perhaps we better agree to disagree. But I would like to see that butane experiment done again. There is no the horizon. There is a geometric horizon, but if you walk forward 6 feet, the geometric horizon would move away from you by 6 feet. And I think that's pretty obvious as well, isn't it? If you can see, if your geometric horizon is distance x, and you move forward a few feet, that geometric horizon is going to change. It's just walking around an object. It's so bloody obvious.
Yeah.
And nothing really more to say about that, is there really? Okay, I'll carry on. It's not an exact point. It's
So
just a distance.
So that's apparent. It changes. But can I ask you, if it is an apparent location, the horizon, what is cutting off the bottoms of those ships?
On occasions when you see that, the ship is beyond the geometric horizon, and the amount of refraction is not enough to lift them further into view. So the geometric horizon is hiding them.
So we can see the geometric horizon on some days?
We do have a geometric horizon, we just can't see it, but perhaps we better agree to disagree. But I would see that butane experiment done again.
So we can see the geometric horizon on some days?
No, it's hidden behind the water, but there's not enough refraction to lift the image of the full ship above that apparent horizon. At best, what you have done, you would have disproved the radius of the Earth.
Ding, ding, ding! What do we have for her, Johnny?
Now, this is what has really got them riled, and they think I'm admitting that we don't have a globe, whereas what I'm actually saying is, using their modus tollens, if everything he was saying was correct, which it isn't, because he's not taking refraction into effect, if that was the case, then he would have proved that the globe does not have a radius of 39 whatever miles, 39,000, 3,000, you know what I mean. It would be a tiny bit more, a tiny bit less. That's all. It's certainly not proving it's flat, and it's certainly not proving it's not a globe.
You know what you should have done with that Aussie guy? You should have put 2 pictures of the moon on your screen and shared it with him. One right side up for us and one right side up for them, and say, which one do you see when you look out at night? Does it look like this one, or does it look like this one? Think about it. If your moon is upside down from where our moon, or from the way our moon looks, what does that mean?
There's 2 moons.
Yeah, that's probably what he'd say.
Yeah, the CGI moon.
So dumb. What does the Southern Cross look like? I've never seen it.
I've not seen it either. Not seen it.
We can laugh about it, but there are some flat earthers who think there are 2 moons.
Well, there's also some that thought it was made from the Grand Canyon and filled with God knows what, and it's like a balloon. Actually, what's happened to Flat Earth Aussie Jesus? I haven't seen him around for a while. Is he still alive, or is he drunk?
I have no idea.
No, it's gone quiet. Okay, well, we're just over halfway through this video. I'll let it run a bit.
Andrew Young cites geometric horizon as where the apparent horizon would be if there were no refraction.
And yeah, guys, that's only half of the video. To watch the complete train wreck of double speaking hilarity, click the link in the description below to watch the full uncensored video over on Library
Uncensored?
or on BitTube if you'd like as well. You have to finish watching it. These globtards are double speaking, flip-flopping within one breath and one sentence. That's how bad things have gotten for the globe. So again, click the links in the description below to finish watching this incredible video. And remember guys, if you check me out on Library, they give out a little bit of free cryptocurrency.
That would be a first,
when you
wouldn't it,
check
for a
out
flat
my
earther?
channel over there, follow me.
What would?
Just click the link in the description
Uncensored?
again.
Yes.
And they do give out some free crypto as an incentive to check out Library. So again guys, there are the links. Click it, finish watching the video, you won't regret it.
Yeah, whatever. Lose the moustache. Oh, man.
Is it Dante, is it?
Red Pill Philosophy. It's Red Pill Philosophy. Have you not seen him before?
Oh, I've seen him. No, I'm just saying the styling. It's from the painter, isn't it? Not Dante, sorry. There's a French painter with that sort of moustache, only longer.
Oh. The, oh, gosh. I forgot what it is. Yeah, I know who you mean. I can't think of his name either. But, yes. So they've been going at me, which is fine. I have... when you're growing a channel... you have little I have little targets I set myself. Oh, I want to try and get this many views in that many time, or aiming for this many subscribers and so on. And one of my recent targets was to reach 1,000. Hold on, what is it? No, 2,400 views in 24 hours. Just as a target, because that's 100 views per hour. And I think I just about made it with my Sleepy video a few days ago. But I put this my latest one about Nathan up. After 18 hours, I had beaten that, and at 24 hours, I think it was over 2,700. So thanks for that, Oakley. Nice one. So keep bashing me, and I'll keep fighting back, and I'll get views and that. That's brilliant. And incidentally, I'm getting a lot more views on these vids than he is. Salvador Dali. Thank you, Mr. Andrat.
That's the one.
Yep. Definitely.
I'm terrible with names, but
Same here. Yeah, someone said he wasn't French. Oh, he was Spanish. Yes.
okay. I don't know why I thought French.
I'd have gone for that. I'd have gone for either, actually. Oh, B-Ball for Life is in there saying he's 11 subs away from 500. So perhaps, if people get a chance, you can go over and check out B-Ball's channel. Okay, B-Ball, you do it, man. You hit that 500. It's nice to hit a milestone like that. Slam DVW said, how about 15 views per hour, 1 per degree? Thanks, Bob. Penny Jane, stop eating. I'm sorry. I'm only eating little chocolates. But you see, I'm rather hungry. I just come off a shift. And I managed to... I thought I'd grab myself a nice cheese sandwich, only to find there's no flipping cheese.
I know where there's a piece of cheese.
Do you?
Right over your left shoulder.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I hadn't thought about that. Now I'm getting tempted. A little bit. It's
Oh.
yes, perhaps it's time for an update on that. Let's bring it over. I'm going to go onto the larger screen so it shows up better. Transition it over. And yes, my 1,000 subscriber YouTube award. Made from real cheese. There you go. How about that? Would anyone like a piece? It's getting hard to see the play button in the middle. It's discolouring the paper now. Yeah, I'm wondering how long before it actually exceeds Nathan Oakley's intelligence. It's getting close. It's getting close.
Yeah, I bet it's not as pungent though.
What, as Nathan?
Yeah.
This is all right now. It's usually when I move it around it gets a bit dodgy. Oh, B-Ball, you just had a sub there. I see Frank subbed to you. Thank you for that, Frank. That's nice. Yes, the cheese award. I'm not sure what I'll do when it goes totally black, but it's lasting quite well. And emergency supplies.
I think one of the bacteria that they use to make that cheese is smarter than all flat earthers collectively.
And actually, I just realised though, that cheese is flat. Interesting. As Jeremy
Proof the Earth is flat.
Well, yeah. Oh, Mr. Andrat says it's going to grow legs soon. Probably will. We'll have a live stream and suddenly realise it's not there in the picture frame anymore.
Well, it's not properly flat unless it's got a few elephants and turtles underneath.
It's turtles all the way down. B-Ball, you just got another one. AJ Ravenwolf, thank you there. Penny Jane, is that real cheese? Yes, it is. Penny, would you like me to, if you post your address, would you like me to send that to you? You could tell us what it's like. Maybe that should be a prize at a competition. Speaking of which, several people commented after my last video about this. My pen of ruthlessness, or pen of ruthlessness on this side. And several people saying they want this pen. So I will have to think of what the competition would be. But for my 5k, which is not going to be a million miles off, my 5k subscriber special, I'll run some little competition and someone can be a lucky winner of my pen, because there's quite a few people saying that they wanted it. So who else have we got in here? Oh, Darkman, of course. RPP is such a moron. RPP? Who's RPP?
Red Pill Philosophy.
Oh, gosh. What?
He does high IQ research.
That's right. That's right. I mean,
and he's a high IQ skeptic.
Yeah. I mean, I've got 2 windows open, one with 1 tab and one with 2 tabs. That's not very impressive, really, is it? There we go. But then I've been working all day, and when I'm working, I've probably got about 14 tabs, which is not too bad. I must be getting up there, chasing him. I'm not sure how many he had on his video. Does anyone know?
Who's that?
Red Pill Philosophy. When he had all his tabs open. Does anyone know how many tabs he had open? I don't know if I could take it. I don't know if I could challenge him for tabs.
Yeah, but this is a result of malware on his machine or something. Is he actually the originator of tabs?
I've no idea. What, just opening random...
Well, you gotta know how to press the plus button on the browser, and that's quite complex for a flat earther.
Well, how does he get the computer going in the first place?
Well, there are other people. Maybe he just doesn't know how to turn them off.
Maybe he's got a 6-year-old comes and loads it all up for him. I'm wondering
and then
how...
he smacks her away.
Yes, allegedly. Okay, so what I was going to ask, and I'm going to run a poll. I'll do it on my community page tomorrow, if I remember, because I'm going to be rather busy. Is obviously this Black Swan thing's been going on and on and on. Right now, well, I've banned Riley because of his hate speech, and Oakley is still hammering back at me with videos. Now, I'm quite happy to respond, but I don't know how people feel. Should I carry on responding to those, or should I move on and just do other stuff? So let me know in the chat. Give me a thumbs up to carry on making Black Swans, and a thumbs down to do something else. And a thumbs down is not negative, it's just to do something else, okay? I'll be interested to know, but I will run a poll, because it's hard to know, because I'm enjoying it, but it's very samey. And how long can you hammer at the same thing without making progress?
You know, honestly, I think anytime that they come up with something as idiotic as this that gets debunked by as many people as many times as this has, I think there comes a time when we should just say, okay, you win that point. Now let's talk about X. You know what I mean? Something that they can't answer, like why is the moon upside down for you in Australia and not for me in America? Or why can't I see the Southern Cross? Or where do meteorites come from? Or any of the other things that they don't have answers for and can't just skirt it. Anytime they're like, well, what about this thing, this picture or whatever? Yeah, you win that. Okay, what about this?
Yeah.
You know, and just keep rebounding to something they can't refute. Because they're going to ride this Black Swan thing until YouTube isn't a thing anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'd ever turn around and say, "Okay, you've won this point," because that is
not to grant them a point, but just to be like, okay, let's put that aside. You know what? I'll give you that. I don't know. Obviously, it's refracted. I wasn't there. I don't have all the information. I'll admit that. Let's just move on to something. You know, not necessarily conceding, but just trying to redirect their limited 3-year-old attention span to something that they can't refute.
Well, looking
back them in a corner. So.
Looking at the thumbs up, thumbs down, it's nearly unanimous to thumbs down to the Black Swan and move on. Very interesting. I'll still run that community poll, but it looks as though you guys pretty much want us to move on from that, and I really do understand that. I may just make the one last response to. Because I did want to respond to the Mitchell from Australia with regard to him claiming he wiped the floor with me on that debate with regard to star rotation, and the fact that his clip, or the clip with me when he's going through at Modus Tollens. So I'll probably just do that one and then call it over and move on to something else. Because I won't. I think I want to finish that and then and actually say on the video, that's it. I'm not interested in doing any more. Rather than if I just stop now without any response, I've got a feeling that they're going to just claim it as a win. Yeah, but I'll run that and see what results we get. But it's looking pretty damn unanimous there. I think I've got one thumbs up, one thumb up, thumb down from the same person, and Jack Daniels couldn't decide, and the rest are thumbs down. So, yeah, all right, people, I'm listening. Oh, and Jeff P, you mentioned Dr. Claudia Albers. Yeah, I've had her on my list for a long time, and she was recommended again every now and then. Actually, she's been recommended by someone, so I am aware of her, and I do have her on my list. Have you guys heard of Dr. Claudia Albers?
No,
I have not.
Well, I think she actually was a physicist, something like that. But this is the worrying thing. I think she's broken mentally. You know, I don't mean that in any rude way.
What, in a David Icke way?
Yes. She now thinks that virtually everything is down to Nubaru and the Black Sun and things like that.
Excellent.
Almost anything. There's one about cobwebs, spiders' cobwebs, which obviously have come down from the planet Nubaru, and they're much stronger than your average cobweb. And that's why I haven't done her yet. I mean, the stuff's rubbish, but I am conscious that it may well just be mental health thing. She publishes endless documents and links them all together. It's thousands of them. No papers. I don't know. It's a bit of a difficult one because I don't want to kick someone if that is the case. You know, someone like Nathan Oakley, I'll happily kick on video all day, but someone like that, I'm just going to be very careful, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nathan actually uses his temper when he realizes he's losing an argument. He'll just, oh dear, I've just lost my temper. I'm going to walk away. I think it's an excuse.
Could be. N Flat Earth has just super chatted $2 US. Flat Earth is the apex of human stupidity. Oh, I don't know. I think they could probably get even more stupid. They probably could. Do you know what? I've said this before, and I mentioned the Flat Earth forums earlier on. There was, a few years back, this theory. Someone had raised the question about the phases of the moon. How can you explain that if the moon is not a globe and it's some sort of spotlight shining on its own? How can you explain the phases? And the theory they came up with were creatures on the moon called moon shramp, and they glow.
Shrimp or shrimp?
Shramp, SHRAMP.
Shrimp sounded more interesting, but
I know,
okay.
but I don't know. Maybe that's the lunar equivalent of shrimp. Maybe, I don't know. And the the phases of the moon is as they migrate across the face of the moon, and they're glowing.
Hey, look, the flat Earth hipster's here. He must have figured out how to use his computer.
Where is he?
I think the Flat Earthers got a major problem coming up in the next 2 to 6 years because there are 2 space hotels coming online.
Red Pill, hey man, listen, it's just us in here. We're not going to tell your secrets. Just admit that you really don't think that the Earth... I won't tell anyone.
Oh, 9 o'clock has said that Claudia Albers did have a breakdown about 8 years ago. Yeah, because I understand she has actually got the qualifications. She just doesn't have a job anymore. Now, I can see people talking to Red Pill Philosophy, but I can't see Red Pill Philosophy on the chat. Why is that?
He was up there. He said an entire live stream dedicated to Nathan Oakley.
What, kissing his butt, is he?
No, he's just trying to steal some of the limelight. We're not talking about him and his ridiculous, idiotic mustache, so...
Oh, it is crazy, isn't it? Like we said, yes, Salvador Dali. Red Dali philosophy.
Dali's mustache was actually cool, though. Red Pills looks like he's homeless, sleeping on the same couches that Nathan Thompson's.
Yeah, whose couch? Oh, Nerd Angle says, if the moon emits its own light, why do we see shadows on the craters? Yeah, they never answered that. And when you look
What about lunar eclipses? How do you put a shadow onto a body that's radiating its...
Yep, definitely.
If only Sleeping Warrior had ever answered my question to him, I put to him. He acknowledges the International Space Station is something, and he wanted to know, when I asked him about the fact that, okay, what is it? And he thought, oh, maybe it's a holographic projection.
On what?
Then into the some clever technology that projects a hologram into the sky. I better not say space, because you wouldn't say that.
No, you wouldn't say that.
No, it's projected onto the dome.
Oh, no, just a projection. He didn't say onto anything. And my point was this: how is a projection blocking light from the sun and the moon?
Yeah, definitely. Especially if that projection's in effect made of light.
And bearing in mind, he himself recorded it blocking light from those objects.
Sorry, who did?
Sleeping Warrior.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he's got 2 videos showing the International Space Station as predicted by an app which is based on a spherical model, by the way.
Are you sure you don't mean Jeranism?
Actually crossing.
You don't mean Jeranism?
No, it was Sleeping Warrior. I'm sure it was.
Jeranism used his...
I chatted with him afterwards.
Oh,
maybe I'm wrong then.
Well, I know Jeranism...
I could have sworn it was Sleeping Warrior, but...
yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, no, but there was a flat earther who I recall as being Sleeping Warrior had actually recorded the International Space Station going across both the sun and the moon, 2 different recordings, and he claimed that it was as a result of a projection, yet it was blocking light. How can you block light with a projector? Have you ever shone a torch on anything and block light from coming towards you?
Osvaldo, he's one of my subs, and he had a good question. Where's the projector? I've said this several times. Who changes the light bulbs? How does it work if there's haze? Well, why wouldn't you see the light coming from the projector out?
I have a better one than that. What speed is the International Space Station traveling at? If it's low altitude, beyond the speed of sound. If it's high altitude, it's higher still. I mean, what speed is it going at if there's no space?
Well, Jeff P has said, yes, Sleeping Warrior. I saw the video. Tusk says that was Jeranism. So does Penny Jane. Yeah, I know that Jeran had done it at least as well, because he had filmed it as the lunar transit and then he did the solar transit, and I did a debunk video because he admitted he had filmed something that crossed at the predicted time, and he actually got quite a good shot of it, and you could see the shape, which was quite amazing really. And I showed images of transits of the station when it was part built. So because he basically said there's something up there but I don't know what it is. And you could even I even had one transit shot which showed the station part built with a shuttle docked to it. There we go.
That would be cool to see.
It wouldn't it just? But someone else had agreed with you that it was Sleeping Warrior as well. Now, I would not be surprised if Sleeping Warrior did it in a video and used clips from other people, but I must admit I would be surprised if Sleepy had actually gone to the time and effort and actually succeeded in taking those shots, because it's not the easiest of things to do. So, you know, hats off to Jeranism for actually doing it, but then having got the evidence with his own camera, seeing it with his own eyes, he then just flipping denied it. So what can you say to that?
I'm sure after he did it he said, interesting.
Yes. Yes, interesting. What the hell am I going to tell my subs now?
Yeah, well, I apologise if I've misremembered it as Sleeping Warrior when it was Jeranism, if it was.
No worries, no worries. Perhaps it's one of the Nathans.
If I say Nathan, then I'm probably right, because there's so many of them in the flat Earth community.
93% chance of being right if you say Nathan.
Well, that's true.
Well, hey guys, I've got to go. My wife just got home and I got to cook dinner. So, hey, Mr. Sensible, thank you so much for having me on the show, man.
You are very, very
welcome.
You are very welcome. Do you want to drop your link into general chat? And what I'll do is I'll pop that on the stream so that people can check out your channel.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually 9 away from 700. So
wow. Well, we've got what's B-Ball for Life just about hitting 500. He's only 4 away. So let's try and get you up to, was it 700?
Yep, 700.
Come on, let's see if we can get Common Sense Criticism over 700. That would be nice. So if you just drop the link into, can you see a few rooms above? There's general chat and lounge. I don't mind which one. Just tell me which one, and I'll take it over. Unless Colon, if you can keep an eye out for that link, and then drop it in. We'll drop it in the chat quite happily for you. That would be nice.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I put it in general chat.
Oh, right. Okay, let's grab it now. So, yes, everyone, please check out Common Sense Criticisms channel, and let's see if we can get him over 700. Why can't I remember that number? Good for you. Good luck, mate.
Hey, thanks, man. When I hit 1,000, I'm going to try to go on Nathan Oakley's channel and get banned, and I'm going to do a contest. Everybody in my live stream is going to basically just pick, and we're going to run a timer and see how long it takes for me to either get muted or booted, I guess.
I like that. That's a nice idea for a competition.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks again, man. I appreciate it.
You're
Brixie.
very, very welcome.
Good
Take care.
Good talking
Everybody,
to you.
have a good night.
Good night. Good night. Now, Common Sense Criticism did one of my 2-minute videos back in January, helping covering my channel, which was great. And it was an excellent video. There was a few other creators did some for me, but yeah, Common Sense was one of those. So it would be nice, a nice little bit of payback if we can just get into that 700. Right, now it's you, Brixie.
It's me.
It is you. Someone mentioned, and I was trying to work out who, had mentioned some heavy breathing. Now there's only you left, and it's you. It's coming from your mic.
All right. Let me just move it a bit further away so it doesn't pick it up.
You've been caught. Okay. You've been caught. So you've got a channel as well, yes?
Yeah, but I haven't been doing any Flat Earth content. In fact, it's mostly just been on gaming, so don't worry about promoting me. I'm fine.
Well, I'll quite happily put a link out to your channel because you've come in on the stream. And there's been, I've forgotten who it was now. There's maybe even two others who've previously been on who've got sort of gaming channels. Nothing wrong with that. And, you know, we've been talking Flat Earth. I'll happily post a link to your channel if you want to drop that in general chat or into the lounge. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, well, I was thinking too that, I mean, probably the Flat Earthers' weakest point isn't to do with the horizon, because that's complex for them to get their heads around anyway. It's to do with the very simple fact that we have a distant sun, not a local sun, and pretty much all of them have a size 10 miles radius minimum maximum, and a couple 2,000-3,000 miles distance. I mean, that's ridiculous.
For the sun. Oh, but Common Sense Criticism has now broken the 700 mark. Nice one.
That was quick.
It was quick. And listen, guys, I know that you'll enjoy his stuff. It is really good. I'm a sub already. So, yeah, I'm pleased for your Common Sense. Good luck, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, what I was saying, the size and location of the sun is an absolute killer for pretty much all the variations of the flat Earth theories, hypotheses, whatever we call them. The biggest thing I would say is a local sun doesn't obey the inverse square law for distribution of light and heat.
But what always makes me laugh is when they show one of those photos with crepuscular oh gosh, I'm tongue-tied tonight.
Corpuscular, yeah.
Yes.
I've actually chatted with Sleepy on that one as well, because I pointed out to him that the rays, if you actually turn around 180 degrees, if you're facing the sun, those rays that are diverging, as in his example, actually converge.
They certainly do.
Now that's tough for him to explain.
Anti-crepuscular waves, aren't they?
Yeah, that's correct.
Rays. That's the word I'm struggling to get out. I don't know if I've got a problem with. Oh, there he is. I saw someone else. You guys have been talking to Red Pill Philosophy, and I've not seen him in there. And then I saw people talking to Where's Wally, not seen him in there. Wally, do you want to come in on the chat? If you do, appreciate that. That's just out of the blue. But if you do, you can just jump onto my server and come into the live waiting room, and then we'll get you onto the live, because it'd be nice to have a chat, because we've interacted quite a bit on each other's videos in comment section. It'd be nice to have a chat with you if you want to. If you don't, then that's absolutely fine. Not a problem at all. And Daniel Pratt, someone's mentioned. He's gone all quiet, hasn't he? He was churning out about 3 or 4 of his video arguments a day, but I've not seen any alerts for him for a while. Have you seen much from him lately, Brixie?
Don't think so. I've been selective, let's put it that way. It does take a lot of swallowing with some of the content that's out there. On the Flat Earth side, I'm assuming you're talking about a Flat Earther. I don't mean to be rude if he's not a Flat Earther.
Oh, yes, he's a Flat Earther, but he seems to be going more to the religious thing and less about the Flat Earth itself lately. He basically spends his time locked in his basement next to a water heater.
Oh, lovely.
But he can get quite angry. But another one I've visited several times is Level Earth Observer. Have you seen him?
No, as I said, there's only a small number of them. I've tried to go for the headliners, and I do feel a little bit guilty about what happened with Mad Mike, because I've thought I should have actually made an effort to persuade him that what he was doing was pointless.
With his steam rocket?
Yeah. I mean, he was never going to get any higher than a hang glider, so what was he going to prove?
Yes, and of course it would have been a lot cheaper for him just to catch a flight in a plane.
Yeah, or a simple balloon, a drone. There's dozens of ways. Yeah. I think, what was his 5,000 feet meters? It was
feet,
pathetic.
I think. But yeah. I did read that he had been trying to raise money for it because he's a stuntman, or he was a stuntman, wasn't he? He did.
Yeah,
was it the longest jump in a
stretch limo?
That's right. But that he cottoned on to the Flat Earth as a way of drumming up money. That's what someone said. And Wally, no, I've not seen what Wolfie's done this morning on video. Like I said, I've been at work. Today was the last day of a set of shifts, and rather than my 4 off, I've only got 3 off now. So it's going to be very, very tight for me this week. But after my next set of shifts, I'm off for 14 days. Result. Oh. So hope to get caught up with stuff. Sorry, where were we, Brixie?
Well, I was talking about the fact that the sun's proximity is absolutely critical to all of the different variations of the flat earthers. I don't actually like the way that they get away with calling themselves having a theory, because, of course, it's not a scientific theory. No. And I don't like the fact that they even get away with diminishing all scientific theories as just theories, yet they elevate their own to the same level. And it hasn't gone through any of the processes that a scientific theory or even a hypothesis would require.
But worse than that, it's stuff that you wouldn't even get that far, would you? Because you can debunk it straight away. Because if it was just that sort of height, then to disappear off into the distance, because it doesn't set, to disappear off in the distance, it would have to speed up, wouldn't it? Because is that right?
Well, what you would observe from a local sun is just so fundamentally different.
Yes, the angular size would have to be shrinking because it's further away, but it doesn't. It carries on at exactly 15 degrees per hour, which it wouldn't if it was flat, because you think of an aircraft as it's going away. When it passes straight overhead, it passes over you quite quickly, but as it's getting into the distance, it slows, or apparently slows. But that doesn't happen with the sun.
Well, this is why I would like the flat earthers to actually state what they believe first before they hold an interview. Because if the guy's saying, look, the sun's just, for sake of argument, 10 kilometers wide, and it's producing the heat that's actually heating up the entire surface of the planet, or at least the side that it's on, then that much localized heat, and then if they start saying, and it's within Earth's atmosphere, why isn't it burning Earth's atmosphere at that point?
And even if it didn't, what's its fuel source?
I've got better than that. And yes, I'd like to know what they think, if it's a combustion source or something. If they accept it's nuclear, and they think a ball of gas, which they seem to accept it is producing nuclear power, which of course it is. But if something that size can do it, why doesn't Earth's atmosphere, which is, according to them, far bigger, consisting of other gases, that should be capable of fusing, irrespective of whether gravity is responsible? And they claim there's no gravity. Okay, but they at least accept that the sun is producing heat. Why doesn't our atmosphere, when it's pretty much the same stuff?
And then, of course, you've got the whole problem of the eclipses.
The eclipses. You think the eclipses are a problem?
Let's face it, Brooksy. Everything's a flipping problem.
Yeah,
and if they can come up with one sort of Heath Robinson explanation for one aspect of flat earthing, let's say the sun, then it knocks everything else out of kilter. It doesn't work together as a consistent set of explanations.
Well, I've never even. For example, Venus. How can Venus transit the sun if it's meant to be further out, or is it a point of light? Is that what they're saying? If it's a point of light, and the distances that they sort of claim, then you've got observational problems because they're pretty much seen in the same place on the surface of the planet because they're distant. How do they get around that?
Well, I've heard them say they're just points of light, but of course, with Venus, you can see the phases in a good scope.
Yeah, and why can you see Venus at all? If you think about it, they're claiming you can't see the sun because of its distance, not because of its angle, because of its distance, or is it because of refraction? I mean...
And of course, if Venus is low in the sky, the sun was there, that wasn't... yeah. I mean, it's just trash, isn't it? It's junk and trash and rubbish. And... If it was just a few people spouting that, I'd say leave them to it. The problem is the people they're getting on board, the people who are believing. I've seen, was it Nathan Roberts had written I think it was Roberts, had written a children's book about the flat earth. That's disgusting. And then we got Thompson flat smacking kids. Well, what if some of those kids start believing that sort of rubbish?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day... it's almost as if their campaign is to bring down science, and it isn't an irrelevance at all. Science has huge requirements for the human race. I mean, at the moment, we've had major breakthroughs. For example, we've just developed a new antibiotic. Now, that was actually found out as a result of an AI search.
Yes, I heard about that.
It's taken the human race 30 years or so of searching for a new antibiotic, and AI found it in 4 days.
I know, and they're wondering.
So we're no longer the main intelligence on this planet. But
yeah, that was astonishing, wasn't it? Because it just ran through all the combinations of.
It was all done in a simulation.
Yeah.
It came up with a good candidate, and it was confirmed.
Yeah,
4 days.
It's absolutely incredible. There must be news stories about that. So let's see if we can find one.
But these are not trivial matters. A new antibiotic will save millions of lives. There's no question. But get rid of science, we wouldn't have that antibiotic.
Yes, I've got a link for it here. It was February the 20th. Let me just post that in here. I've not read this story. It's on The Guardian. But a powerful antibiotic discovered using machine learning for the first time. A team at MIT. And it kills some of the world's most dangerous strains. Absolutely astonishing stuff.
And bearing in mind the problem with superbugs, which are antibiotic resistant, they have no resistance to this whatsoever.
But look at the state of people's common sense and understanding. Not wishing to really go back to the whole coronavirus thing which we were talking about earlier, but my understanding is sales of Corona beer in the US have plummeted by about 38%. Because it's got the word Corona. How dumb do you have to be? Apparently, there's plenty of people who are.
Yeah, but stupidity, not to put too fine a point on it, but if people are deliberately allowing themselves to be dumbed down, they will make stupid decisions, including medical decisions, including environmental. I mean, at the present point in time, we are suffering some environmental problems with global heating. If global warming is ignored because people don't pay attention to what's going on, then what's going to be done about it?
Well, I know, because that's one of the earlier places I came in, following people like I've forgotten his name. That was Thunderfoot, but there was another science guy. Can't think of his name, and he was talking about that a lot. You're absolutely right. I mean, it's a dumbing down of people in general, but everything is getting dumbed down. The news reports are getting dumbed down. What I've heard said so many times is, well, the climate has always changed. Well, yes, it has, but slowly, over hundreds of thousands of years, not over 200 years or 150 years, to the massive extent it has. Life, plants, animals can't adapt on those sort of timescales. They can adapt over hundreds of thousands of years. Trees can't migrate to somewhere more suitable, but if the environment is changing over hundreds of thousands of years, they'll tend to grow towards be able to spread towards an area that can support them. But if it suddenly changes from the area they're in to somewhere else, that's it. Game over, man. Game over, man.
Well, ultimately, I mean, we have a bit of fun at the flat earthers' expense, but there is a serious side to this. I mean, if you really boil it down, what importance is there to science? Well, if we go down the flat Earth, we'll never leave the planet. If we never leave the planet, how is life actually going to pass on to somewhere else? Because our planet's got a finite lifespan. If we don't do something about it, that could be the end of all known life. I'm not saying there's no life beyond Earth. Maybe there is, but as far as we know for certain, it's only here.
Absolutely, Brixie. I just want to say that Arthur is absolutely right. Potholer 54. That is the guy. Well done. But yeah, I agree with you absolutely. Right now, we have all our eggs in one basket on the Earth. If you had a dinosaur killer scale meteor, that is it. That's game over.
And we should be congratulating people like Elon Musk for the achievements he's doing, and they're trying to deride him. They're saying he's fake.
Because it literally challenges
that's a
their
real
religion.
problem.
But it's all crazy. You have people who, fundamentalists, who believe the biblical scriptures. That in itself, okay, fair enough. You want to live your life according to that, that's fine. But they can't.
Out a little bit.
Oh, I might. Do you know what? This has happened time to time. I'm not moving, not touched any plugs. I don't know what is happening.
Yeah, you dropped out a little bit because
I don't know what's happening.
I think it's just your end because the illumination of your voice does disappear while you're talking.
Oh, is it back okay now?
You're fine for the moment. You were dropping out though.
I will stay as still as I can. I don't know what the problem is. Maybe it's these. Well, the mic works fine when I'm recording my videos. It doesn't drop out at all. I've no idea what this issue is. I have had it come in time to time. Yes, anti-intellectual culture, as Nicholas Castillo's saying. And I've forgotten what I was saying. So we're all on this one planet. The next best thing is for us to have a population on another world, so that basically we're not all the eggs in one basket. The problem is going to then be that all our eggs are in this solar system, and this solar system won't last forever. It will last for a very long time, billions of years, but it will not last forever. But then maybe in that time scale, we're not going to worry about it, and maybe we'll have moved on to a spiritual dimension or something, or be installed in machines, AI. Then interstellar travel wouldn't be a problem, would it then?
Well, we don't actually technically have to inhabit other planets. There is space itself is habitable under the right circumstances. Even the moon, with a bit of work, you can survive there. But at the moment, we are, as you said, all eggs in one basket, and that's a very dangerous situation. And we're the only species on this planet at present that's capable of doing anything about it.
Yes. Well, Nerd
so
Angle's
that's a responsibility.
Nerd Angle's just given a Neil deGrasse Tyson quote, which I'd not heard of before. It's absolutely right. If we can terraform Mars, that means we should be able to fix Earth. Absolutely.
Yeah, although personally, I think Mars is the wrong destination. I mean, if you want to terraform Mars, you've got to start on one of its moons. Just small habitation on the moon would be much more practical than going to the surface of Mars. You can remote control drones on the surface of Mars from one of the Martian moons, Phobos or Deimos, and that would be much more practical.
But, well, I guess even if you were on Mars, you're going to live in a tin can for life, aren't you?
Well, one of the big problems for Mars is it doesn't have Earth's gravity. Now, you could have a rotating building or something like that, but you have hurdles. Most can be overcome, but gravity is probably one of the more awkward ones.
But also the atmosphere is so thin that even
The
if you can
atmosphere-
change, even if you can adjust the constituents of that atmosphere, which would obviously take a very long time, there's still not much atmosphere. The gravity's not enough to hold it.
Sure, but ultimately, if you took a moon such as Deimos, you could make a livable area within the moon. You may have to resort to something like rotation for artificial gravity.
Have you ever read a book called Eon by Greg Bear?
Nope, I've not read huge numbers of science books.
Well, no, it's science fiction.
Science fiction.
It's hard science fiction. It is absolutely stunning. I would thoroughly recommend that. Greg Bear, Eon. Okay, I really would recommend that to you. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's pretty much what you're talking about, with a bit of a twist, which I won't reveal. Okay. What I can give away, because it talks about it on the blurb of the book, is an asteroid appearing in orbit around the Earth, and they and they determine that it's hollow, and there are there's 6 chambers, and the 7th chamber holds rather a secret, which I won't give away. And the Greg Bear's mind is incredible, absolutely incredible. Go on, I'll tell you what, you buy that or borrow it from a library or something. You will not regret it, I tell you.
Yeah, it sounds good. I just see potentially with the flat earthers, the anti-science aspect of it can be very harmful, and it isn't just whether or not the world is flat or a sphere, but where that leads to afterwards.
Well, it's a question of degree, isn't it? Because a lot of those people are conspiracy theorists, and then lead on to anti-vaxxing, which obviously in itself is damn dangerous. In this country, the number of people, well, as you know, a number of people with mumps and things like that has gone up a lot, purely because of the stupidity of people who will not understand or accept science. TGK2K, good night to you, sir. Thanks for joining us again. You have a good night. So anti-vaxxers, that's quite despicable. I was at the doctor recently, and I actually had a jab for pneumonia. And I was talking to the nurse, and I said, "Do you ever get anti-vaxxers in here?" She said, "Oh, yes." She said, but then when things like the mumps started cropping up, all these people started coming back and actually decided they did want the vaccine after all.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's also that, for example, if people take antibiotics and don't take a full course, something very simple like that, they may object to science, but they're prepared to experiment a little bit because their friends say it's good for them. But if they don't follow the proper instructions, they're actually defeating the very tools they're using.
Well, worse, if you don't follow the full course, that's what enables
resistant bacteria.
Exactly. But then people, I'm afraid, there are so many people who are stupid, and I don't mean that in a nasty way. I mean, it's okay not to understand something, but if I don't understand nuclear physics, I don't understand all the stuff we were talking about with AI. I don't understand it, but I accept that there are people who specialise in those fields and they know all about it. I mean, you have to bow to their knowledge, and you know that if there's 2 of them, one will call the other out if he's wrong. It's self-correcting, isn't it?
True, but there's something insidious about the way the flat earthers will try to claim science for themselves, purely by cherry-picking snippets of information that almost fit with aspects about what they're trying to promote, and then they'll just obfuscate it. They'll make it confusing for people listening in. They'll use terms they don't understand themselves, but they'll present it as in a confident manner, and that for them is good enough for their listenership.
Yes, they'll follow them.
Yeah, they haven't got a particularly high bar to meet, and
Yes.
1 or 2 of them have got such a low bar that they will use mute techniques and the like when things are getting a bit too close to comfort, in that they're going to get exposed. And I think you know who we're talking about.
Oh, I'll quite happily say that Nathan Oakley uses mute.
Well, he is the topic, so
Yeah,
I thought the
yeah.
listeners would get the
Yeah.
idea.
Oh, and by the way, I've just changed the scene again. The background art, as usual, I have shown this one before, is by Mr. Victory, and you can contact mrvictory77@outlook.com. He is selling his artwork. Let me quickly show a full page view of this. I've forgotten what this one is called because I only had a few minutes to get set up tonight. But for me, I think it's beautiful stuff. I don't know quite how he does it. Yeah, it is. I'm really, really impressed with it, and I'm happy to show it on my channel. And he's kindly let me use his images. So do feel free to contact him. Yes, sorry, we were talking about Nathan. Yes, he'll use mute left, right, and centre, and he'll use worse than that. I did a video where he was having an argument with someone, and I've forgotten what it was, but he was he was screaming. He said, "I'm holding your feet, I'm holding your ankles, and I'm raping you." He said, "I'm holding your ankles and I'm raping you out anally." He was absolutely obnoxious. And Rodent, no last name, said, "I think ignorant is a better description than stupid." You're absolutely right, Rodent. Sorry, it's me. I'm struggling. For me, it's nearly 2 a.m. after a long shift and a full day. So yes, ignorant is the word. It is fine to be ignorant. Someone can't help being stupid. It is fine to be ignorant. But if you're ignorant of something, then you owe it to yourself to try and learn about it. And if you don't want to or are unable to learn about it, then you should accept what the people who are knowledgeable on the subject say. Penny Jane wants the cheese back on the wall. It's got your name on it, Penny. I will hang it back up on the wall. It is here. It's just that I'll have to unhook the headphones and that to do that. Incidentally, the other picture there, if you haven't seen it before, that was done for me by Osvaldo Greco. Was it you or was it CSC said that Osvaldo's a sub on his channel as well? I think it might have been CSC. But Oz is a great chap. He's always feeding me suggestions of videos to do. And out of the blue, he did that artwork for me, which is wonderful. What's this? Nicholas is now saying there's chakra, mandala, sacred geometry type crazes pervert quantum mechanics for their drivel. I don't really know much about it. Yeah, all that stuff about the mandala effect. That's all weird. That's all weird about things changing. They're not what they were. Hello, Sean Hawkins. You've joined us, but I shall be finishing soon. It is a shorter stream. It's a later night stream.
Mensa Girl uses a little bit of quantum physics, just little snippets of it mixed up with her diatribes. Sorry, but it is.
I don't know what to make for her. I think she's just playing for the aren't I cutesy, and trying to get the teen boys to not look at her face, but watch a couple of other things bouncing around. And I think that's what she's after. Because she doesn't have to talk a lot of rubbish. I did break down on one of her videos when she was still orphan red about satellites. And
was this the photography one where she claimed that because there's no observer, the images cannot actually be real?
No, I have heard of that though.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean Hawkins says Mandela effect equals I have shitty memory. Yes.
I've heard of the Mandela effect. It's meant to be where you have experienced something that isn't meant to be, isn't it?
It's
repeated.
It didn't used to be like this.
He's supposed to people remembering he died or something, and yet they see him alive. This sort of thing.
Well, it's anything to do with memory, something that isn't as you are sure it was. They've never shown the news at 9 o'clock. It always used to be at a different time, that sort of thing.
Perhaps, but isn't it meant to be meant to be this is a many worlds theory that somehow we've transferred into a parallel universe or something?
Yeah, I've heard that as well, yes.
Yeah, I think there's meant to be a fringe element of that anyway.
It's all nutsoid anyway, isn't it? And I'm yawning, excuse me. I do apologise, people. That please forgive me. And I tell you what, Brixie, it has been great having you on here, and you'll be very, very welcome to come back again anytime you want to.
Sure.
Do you have a link, or have you popped a link in the chat?
Well, I mean,
or you can do it another time if you want. That's fine.
I'll do it another time because I have got I've got a small library, but very small. I'm not a major YouTuber.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. It's just I'm happy to put a shout out. So maybe people can Google you and find you then.
Yeah. Brixie Brixamite. It's mostly Star Citizen content at present. I'll probably put some other content, but that's what I've been doing.
Well, hopefully you will join us again, and at that time you will share your link then. But yes, it's been great having you on here. So I'll say thank you very much. Do you have any? It's tradition on my channel for all the guests to have a few last words. So is there anything you want to say about anything really?
Well, if I'm only going to say one quick short thing, it will be that I would love to have the flat earthers actually try to explain what they think the sun is and how far away it is, and as many times as possible state their case before they actually start going into their thing. Just state what they actually believe. It would help.
I think that's fair enough. And next time I'm chatting with one, I will try and bear that in mind. But pinning them down, that's the hard thing, isn't it?
Well, if you can do it at the beginning, it at least gives you, well, hold on, right at the beginning you declared this. Yes. And if they're contradicting it, that's going to be interesting.
It certainly will. Certainly will. Okay, lovely. Well, thank you very much, Brixie. I don't know if you want to just if I drop you back in the live waiting room. Colon's still there, and I'll wind up the stream, and I'll just come and have a few quick words afterwards with you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Sure. Well, thank you very much for joining us. So I'll say good night to you. Thank you.
Good night there. Okay.
So that was very nice having two new guests, Brixie and Common Sense Criticism. Let's make sure I've got the desktop audio switched off. There we go. That's better, so we're not going to get any background noises. Thank you ever so much, everyone, for joining me at this unusual time for me. It has been nice to see both familiar names and some new names. I don't know next time I'll be likely to be doing one at this sort of time of day. Never know. So I'm going to say good night to all of you. Good night. I see Frank just said good night. But terraforming. Okay, yeah. Well, terraforming, that could be a topic some other time. So thank you all. Appreciate all the comments you make to my videos, all the views, all the likes, and don't forget to like this one. And I will pop a poll onto my channel, onto my... See, I'm really struggling. It's not a good time of night for me. Onto my... I just realised I was in the wrong stream. Sorry, guys. That's why See, I'm making bad mistakes. I actually dropped myself in the waiting room, so I guess you weren't hearing me. Who knows? I've screwed up. Thank you all very much, everyone. See you all soon. Stay sensible.